welcome guys, welcome to this video. In this video we are going to deploy a Laravel application on AWS server. So this is a Laravel 8 application and we are going to do it with the database. So we have a home here and there a user is logged in. So I have a database where I have a user. We'll connect that database to our application and let's see how we can do it. Now before we continue, I want you to know a few terms that I will be using in this video. So first is the AWS instances. What is instance? An instance is a virtual server in the AWS cloud. With AWS EC2, you can set up and configure the operating system and applications that run on your instance. So you can have an example like you have a server set up on AWS. For example, you want to host your website on Ubuntu server. So that is a single instance that's going to hold your application, and that instance has Ubuntu server. You might have Windows server, you might want to try AWS custom servers. So that's what instance is. We will have instance for database. We have instance for your application, the application you store. EC2 is one of the instance type of the instance. So it's EC2 is the AWS instance where we create the instances. Now another thing we need to talk about is security group. In instances we set security group and that helps us to filter the data. You can set up what traffic should come and access to your instance or not. That's going to be done in security groups. Then we have load balancer. So load balancer distributes incoming application traffic across multiple EC2 instances in multiple availability zones. So in AWS, you can have multiple locations and you can set your zones for your application. And once the traffic is too much on your application and load is getting over, it is going to distribute the traffic on multiple zones. So you can set up a load balancer for it. There are extra charges for it if you want to do that, but that's something that you should know. Then we have RDS database, as its name sounds. Amazon Relational Database Services make it easy to set up, operate, and scale a relational database in the cloud. So yeah, we are going to create a RDS instance. That's going to be a database. So our database will be in a separate instance. Our application going to be in separate instances, and those two instances will going to talk to each other to make our application run smoothly. Then we have the Elastic Beanstalk. AWS Elastic Beanstalk is an easy to use service to deploy and scale web applications and services deployed with Java, .NET, PHP, Node.js, Python, Ruby, Go, and Docker on familiar servers such as Apache and Nginx. Now we can do everything custom. We can create an instance, we can put our files there, we can install required softwares and extensions, PHP extensions, everything ourselves. But if we use the Elastic Beanstalk, it configures everything, whatever is required for our application in the instance and creates an instance accordingly. You will see how it works and things will get clear. For now, it might sound a bit scary terminology. So this application is brand new. There's nothing I did here, only just created the application and added the login and single user. So if I go here on the desktop, so I have a folder named test app, and this is the folder where I have the app. Now what we need to do to upload this project to AWS, we need to make sure we run all the required files we should have in our directory. So we have vendor here. So if you run composer install command in the project, it comes here. And here we have the node modules, which is npm install. So that installs all the packages, whatever packages listed in the package.json. So if you check here, I open a Sublime here. So here it is going to install these. So these are already done. So I have all the files currently there. Now if I open this with the code editor, I have the .env file as well in the same directory, and here app is local and debug is set to true for now, and I'm connected to a local database for now. So this is all the settings. There's nothing special I did so far. What we need to do, we need to zip this file. So all these files, and not the folder, we need to get all the files. So here I select and compress. Alright, so we have the archive here. I'm gonna rename this file, and you can rename to anything. As it's a test app, I just got a test app. And what I do, I'm simply gonna put it to desktop so we can select it easily. So it's here now. Alright, now what we need to do, we need to go back to the browser, and we need to go into the AWS website. So AWS, you need to log in and create an account. It is going to ask for your credit card or the debit card details. You can put there. It's not going to charge you. That's just for security reasons. We are going to use the AWS free tier, so it's going to be free for 1 year. And yeah, so you can create the account. So I already have the account here. So I am in the application currently, and I have the Ohio setup here in the location. You can select according to your needs. Now here we have services. So if you click there, we see all the services, and if you click all services, you can browse all the services of AWS. So currently the service we need. So there are two ways to create, upload our project to the AWS server. We can create an EC2 instance and do all manually, or we can try Elastic Beanstalk. Now this is free, there's no extra charge for it, but it helps us to set up our application automatically. It does so many things automatically, so it makes it a lot easier to deploy application on the AWS. So let's do that. I'm going to search for this and simply go here, Elastic, and it shows up there. Just open this. Alright, in my case you see here a few applications, and in your case you might not see any of here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click here, create environment. Now here it's going to ask us what environment we want, web or worker environment. We want web, as we want to store our website there, so just select. Now it says what is the application name, so I'm going to say here test app. You can add tags as well. I'm not going to do that. If you want to, you can add. And simply there's platform option. Now here what we need to do, we need to select the platform. For it, it's going to be PHP, and it selects automatically the options. So we have PHP 8 selected, and as well as the 3 platform version. Now here it says application code. So here is the opportunity to upload our code. We want to upload it from the zip file. So here we simply say upload your code, then local file. Now we have option to select file. Now we need to navigate to our file. So I click here, go to the desktop, and here is our test app that we created, and just gonna open it. Now it is uploading it. We need to wait till it uploads. Alright, so file is uploaded. Now we can configure a few things. So we can click here, configure more options. Now it gives a new page to us. So if we scroll top, we have the single instance free tier. So it is eligible for free tier, so I'm just gonna leave it that way. Now here, if I scroll down, for most things here in the instances, we need to click edit. And here we have security groups. So By default, it is going to generate automatically, so you can see that root volume value set up here. In the security groups, you can see I have few groups here. You might not see groups here, so don't I need to change anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cancel here. We don't have load balancer for now. Now here we have the virtual machine key pair, which is empty currently, so we need to set it, edit. It says key pair. So if here I go, I have a key pair created here already, so we can use that one. So I'm gonna select the latest, and we're gonna see how we can create these. Other than that, all looks good, and I'm gonna hit save. So now it changes to custom, but don't worry, it is still the single instance for us. Now if I go back here, and here you can see in security we have the latest selected. Now I'm going to show you how you can create a latest. For database we will work out, maybe just going to leave it for now, we will connect it later. So here we have create environment. I'm going to hit create environment. So it is going to do the job and going to create the environment for us. Alright, so application generated, we have the health status OK, and here is the URL. If I click there, it's giving a 403. We're gonna see why it is happening in a moment. Now, other than that, if I scroll down, you can see the details. So successfully launched the environment. To deal with this 403 error, all we need to do, we need to go into the configuration. And the reason we are getting this error because Laravel has the index.php in public folder, so we need to set the root as public folder. So here we have document root. Currently it is empty, so we need to set this root. So we go here and we put here /public. Now if you want to increase the RAM, you can do that here in the memory. You have the display errors options, execution time. In most cases, it's better just to leave everything as it is. Just put the /public and hit save. So apply. Now it's going to update our environment, and we need to wait till we get the green tick again. Alright, so environment is up again and status is OK. So we go back to 403 error and refresh the page. Now you can see that we're getting 500 error and server error. And if you're familiar with the screen, this is coming from the Laravel itself. So Laravel is giving this error. So we need to work with this. So basically we need to go into the .env file and check things there. So for that, what we need to do, for that, we need to go into the services. We can search here EC2. And we need to go into EC2 service. Now, Elastic Beanstalk generated an instance for us, and we need to go inside that instance. So I'm gonna click here. Now, before clicking here, if you remember, I used the latest option as a key pair. So if you see in the left side, we have key pairs given there. So if I click there, we have the list of key pairs here, and here you can create a new key pair. So you can give it a name. So if you remember, I gave it the name latest, so you can give the name latest or anything you want. So let's say for I say test app, and the private key is going to be .pem, and you can, if you want to add tag, fine, otherwise just create the key pair. And it is going to ask you to save the file, so I'm going to save it on the desktop. So you can see that I got here the test app.cer. So it gave me the .cer file. Now in the list we also have the latest, and I use this latest there. So if you created the test app, we can use this test app there. So if I go back to, for example, let's go back to the Elastic Beanstalk one more time. And here we need to go into our environment once again. So we have the test app environment here with the status of OK. So I click there. We go to configuration. Now here I scroll down key pair is latest here. You can see. Now what I do, I add it here. So if I change this, now we need to look for test app that we just created. So we can add that here and hit apply. Now again, any changes you make, it is going to update the environment. So it says change option 2 will not take effect immediately. Each of the instances will be replaced and new settings will take effect. At this point, we haven't changed anything or much settings, so our instance, if replaced, it's not going to change a lot of things. So we can do this. So I am going to replace it with the test app. So I hit confirm. Now it is going to update our environment, and we need to wait till it updates. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this file. So I already have it in the desktop here. I can see. So once this is done, we're gonna connect to the instance using our this key pair. So the main point is that you create a key pair and then you connect that key pair to your environment, and using that key pair you can SSH into your environment and make changes mainly to the instance that is created by the BEANSTOCK. So here currently it is updating our environment. So once it updates, we do that. Alright, so the environment is up, so the new key pair is attached to the environment now. So if I go to configuration here and scroll down, and in security you will see EC2 key pair test app that we have here, and using this we can connect it to our EC2 instance. So what I do, simply I go to here and search, and I say EC2, and we get the service here. Now let's open it, a new tab, and here we need to go into EC2 dashboard, and I have 2 instances running, so I'm going to click here, and here is our test app env. So this is an env for environment, so we just click on instance ID here. Now here we have the instance and the details. So if you scroll down, you will see that this instance, so I'm gonna make it bigger. It is a Linux based, and you can see that the image used here is from Amazon Linux 2, and the other details regarding what settings Elastic Beanstalk has added here. So you can check in detail here. If we click on security, you will see that we have security group set up. This is all done by Elastic Beanstalk. We didn't do anything here, and this is something that is needs to be done by Elastic Beanstalk. Otherwise, if we do it ourselves, we must know which port we need to allow and not allow. If we don't know, or we configure incorrectly, we will face a lot of problems. Alright, so if I go to details, so here, so overall settings are fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll top, and here you can see the instance type is T2 micro, which is the free tier instance, so it's not going to charge you. Now what we need to do here, we need to click on connect so that we can SSH into the instance. So I click here, connect, and then we have SSH client. Here we have the detail how to do it. So it says that first we need to change the permission, and it is telling us test app.pem, but we have CER. So what we need to do, we run these commands, but we use CER. So let's do that. So if you click here on this icon, it's going to copy this command, and I have this file on desktop currently. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to desktop, clear the screen, and I say cd desktop, and clear the screen again. Now here I put the command, and here I'm going to say CER and hit return. So you can see that it changed the permission for this file. Now I'm going to go here and just going to copy this, and this command is going to allow us to SSH into the instance. So let's go back to terminal I'm going to paste the command. Again, we have desktop PEM here, so I'm going to change it to CER, and then hit return. Now it is asking to just type yes and hit return. Now it says login with the username EC2 user rather than root. So we have in command it is given root, so we need to replace root with the EC2 user. So I'm going to copy this by hitting up key. I get the command back, and I go here before @ I remove the root and add EC2 user, and now hit return. Alright, you can see that Elastic Beanstalk here. We are already inside our instance. So if I go here and say cd/var and hit return, here I can do ls for list directory, and here you will see the folder named www. Now this is where the files are stored for our Laravel project, so we can go inside there. So cd www, and you will see here a HTML folder. Now inside HTML, if you ls, you will see the Laravel application files you can see here. Alright, now if you're familiar with the terminologies and using the Ubuntu commands, basically what we need to do, we need to check for .env file. So currently, if I say here sudo, and we can run sudo commands in here, we have the full access. So sudo, and then I say nano. Nano is the editor. So if we want to open any file with nano, you just say nano and after the file name. So if I say .env and hit return, if you get the file empty, you can see that there's nothing in here. That means that file is not present there. So in that case, we need to create the file. So what we do here, basically, I'm gonna exit out of it. I'm gonna say here sudo, and to create a file we say touch, and then we say .env, and again sudo nano env. We open the file again. Now go here. Now here we have the env in a local environment, so I'm going to copy everything from here, and I'm going to go back here and I'm going to paste there. Alright, now you can see that we have content there. Now for now I'm not going to change anything, just going to leave it as it is, and step by step we're going to correct it. So here, to save it, I'm going to say Control X. It asks OK save, so we say Shift Y for yes, and then we hit return, and it saves. So if I go back to sudo nano.env again, you will see that there is content. So you can see that there are given some commands that how you can operate in nano editor. So I say Control X again to exit out. Now we go back here. If you remember, we were getting the error. If I refresh here, we have the application up. Alright, that's great. Now, for now, if it's working, so if I hit login, we get the 404 not found. So we need to correct this. So let's do that. Alright, so to deal with this, we go back to terminal again. Now here I am going to clear the screen by typing clear. Then I'm going to hit CD. So we get root directory, clear again. Now what I want to do, I want to go to Nginx settings. So we are using Nginx here, and we need to change a few settings there so that we get the login and register page. So to work with this, what we need to do, we need to say here cd and then /etc/nginx, and it is going to change the directory and take us there. So if I say ls here, so we will see here a folder name conf.d. So we need to go inside it. So cd conf.d, ls again. Here you will see Elastic Beanstalk. Go inside this directory as well. So simply cd and there ls. Now here we have two files, health.htconf and php.conf. Here we need to create a file. So I'm going to create a sudo and touch, if you remember, to create a file. Then we say laravel.conf, and it creates a file there. Now we need to see it, ls. So we have three files, Now we need to edit this file, so we say sudo nano laravel.conf. It opens the file. Now in here we need to put a code, and that is going to append into the Nginx settings. So I'm just going to copy paste that code here, and this is it. So it is basically saying that query string, any pages it goes to, just work accordingly. Just in the syntax of Nginx. More details you can read in the Nginx documentations. Now, if you remember, to save it, we need to do Control X. Now it says save modify buffer. So for that, Shift capital S Y. So it saves it. Hit return. Now it's fine. Now we need to check if it's saved. You just simply go back there again. You will see code there, and that means it's saved. Hit Control X to come out of here. Now we added this change. We need to restart the server, otherwise we won't be able to see the changes. For restarting Nginx, here is the command. I'm going to copy and paste here and hit return. And if this fires, that means it worked. So we go back here, refresh, and this time when we go to login page, you will see the login page. You go to register page, you see the register page. So it's working just fine. Now our app is up, but the thing is we had a user in database, and we want to connect to the database. So if I go here and register, so I create a user again, test at gmail.com, password 1234567 1234567, and I hit register, and we get the error. Connection refused. So we don't have a database connected to it. For this, we go back to the AWS. Here, instead of EC2, I'm going to search for RDS. And here is the RDS. So click there. Here on the RDS page, you will see the main dashboard, something like this. I have a database already created here for another application, but we're going to create a brand new one here. So you can see that create database, just click there. It's going to take some time, so we need to wait. Here it says standard and easy create. We will go for standard. Then we go here for MySQL. Here I scroll down. So we have the version. You can select which version you want. We can select the latest one. Now here we have production, dev test, and free tier. You can select the free tier so that it stays free. Then you can give the database instance a name. So I'm just gonna put the test tab at the end, so we recognize it that it's the app we are working with. So master username. So I pass admin, then password 1234567 and same way. You should have the strong password, but for now I'm just going to do this. So we have admin, and here you can see that it's going to use the 1 CPU T2 micro instance. Now scroll down, I'll look at the storage. Minimum is 20, so you need to at least provide minimum. Scroll more down here, connectivity. We don't need to touch anything here. Public access, I'm going to leave it for now, anything. And security group is already selected to default, so we're not going to change that. And here, additional configuration. Here I have initial database. So database name, what name you want to provide to your database. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this Sublime text here. And this is very important that we have the, so as a database, create. So yeah, create database. You can see that our database is here. It is currently creating on top, so we need to wait till it completes. So once it's done, then we can configure it in our app. Alright guys, so we have our database created, and if I go inside this database, and here in connectivity and security we have the endpoint given, port given, and security group given. So here we have the security group given inside connectivity and security. So default group is selected. So we're going to click this, and if I scroll down here we have inbound rules, click there, and here we have the inbound rules. So we click on inbound rules. So here you need to add an entry. So you might not see this much options there. The entry you're going to add, that is going to make the connection work. So basically you say add rule, and then here you will say MySQL. So we're just gonna select like this, and here what we need to select is the instance. So basically the instance I have here, test app instance. So I want to connect my database to this instance. I click here, and then I go to the security, and here in details we have a security group given to it. You can see here the same security group we need to select in our RDS database here. So when you click here, scroll down, you can see that there are also given the app names at the bottom, so we can match and reconfirm. So you can see that here, test app environment ending with 875D. I click there, and if I go to instance, the security group is the 875D, the same one. So yeah, we are doing it right. So once this is done, save routes, and this is going to update the environment, and I'm going to make the connection. Now if I go to app here and I refresh and continue, so it still refuses because we haven't updated the .env. So let's do that. So what we need to do, we need to go back to the terminal, and we are connected here in the instance. So we go to the directory where we have the files. So if I say here cd/var/www/html, and if you remember, our Laravel application is here, so you can see that. Now here what I'm going to say, sudo nano.env. Alright, so here if you see the DB host is 127.0.0.1. Now we need to change it, so let's do that. So we go back here. We need to go into the RDS data. So let's go here. So simply I search for RDS, and in database instances our database is here, test app, and in connectivity we have an endpoint. We need to copy this endpoint. We go back to terminal, and here in DB host we're going to paste this like that. Now here we have Laravel test app. If you remember, I saved the details while we were creating the database, so we need to put these details there. So here database name is this, so we put there. Now I close this using Control X, save Shift Y, return. Now we go back here. Let's see if it works. Continue. Now this time it gives us a different error. We get an access denied for user admin. Looks like the name provided is not right. So we go back to RDS. So our database is here, and we can see the details about our database right here. So if I go to configuration, scroll down, we have database name given here, and master username given here as test database. So I copy this master username. We need to go back again to terminal, and here we need to go and change the username to master username. So I'm going to paste that here, and I'm going to save this file, and let's try again. So I go back here and refresh. Alright, this time it connected. Now it is saying that table doesn't exist. We need to run the migrations. So let's do that. So for that we go back to terminal. Here we are already in the Laravel folder. And here we can say PHP artisan migrate. And you can see that migration ran. Now if I refresh this time, continue, and we just register the user. So if I go back to Laravel app, it's working. Home, it's working. So yeah, we have the app running or Laravel on AWS with database working. At this point, you might want to set up a domain name. So currently we have the Laravel app up and running with the database connection, and but it is just the environment that we have. So if I go here and I say here Elastic BEANSTOCK, so here is our app. So currently it is just going to this URL. We click here, we load the app, that's fine, but it's not the domain we are looking for. So let's do this. So first I have a domain that I want to transfer. So what I want to do basically, it should work with the AWS. So what do? We go to the services, and here we need to search for Route 53, and you will get this service here. So click there. Now here I have a hosted zone for a website. We need to create another hosted zone for the website where we want to host, have this application working. So for that, what we need to do, I click here, hosted zone. Here you will see the create hosted zone, so just click there. Now here it says the domain name, so which domain we want to add. So I'm going to add here the domain name. Alright, after that you can add the description, it's totally up to you. It's going to be public hosted, and then I say create hosted zone. It created the hosted zone, and here we have the domain. Now here I have the name servers for it, so you can even see these here. Now I need to go to the hosting provider or the provider of this domain, and in domain settings I need to update these name servers. Alright, so I am here, copy the name servers, the previous name servers, and I'm gonna change. Any hosting provider you'll be using, it's going to be quite similar, so just going to be here. So here I say change name servers. Now what we want to do here, we want to paste the name servers that we have here. So okay, I copy this, go here, replace with this, copy this, and then replace with this. Just like that. We need to add all four. So name servers basically works this way. Now you can see name servers changed. Now it might take up to 24 hours to changes to take effect. So we need to wait. Generally after an hour or two you can try to check if it has changed or not. So and what is going to happen next time when user goes to inksoft.com, it is going to go towards the AWS, and here in the AWS we have route set up, and here we need to tell that when the user is looking for this, where we want to take the user. So for that, what we need to do, we need to create few records. So here if we go, we have apps opening up here right there on this URL. So if I go here back to the Elastic BEANSTOCK, here in the app and app. So our URL is right here. So we need to make sure when someone comes to inksouth.com, that user should be taken to this URL, because when we click this URL, this loads our application. So that's what we want to do. So what we do here, basically we add a record, and here first time you just leave this blank, so that if someone types ink.south.com or whatever the domain name you have, where it is going to be taken, then here the record type going to be A. Then here in value we're not going to pass IP address, we ain't gonna enable the alias. And here we're gonna say the BEANSTOCK environment. And here you need to select the region. Now if you remember, initially I showed you what we need to do. We need to just go here and look for, I'm gonna select first the Ohio, and here I have the, so for me it is Ohio. Initially when I created the app, you can see that on the top it's Ohio. So whatever is selected here, you will be able to see your under there. So make sure you remember that. So here it is Ohio. I selected Ohio inside the BEANSTOCK environment, and then I get the 3 options. So the top one is the test app, the one we created just a moment ago. So click that and create record. It creates record successfully. We have the inksouth, so if someone comes here, it goes directly with that route. Now we create another record, same way. This time www. We don't need to pass dot, we already have dot here. A record, just exactly the same. We say BEANSTOCK environment, and then we go to, in our case, in my case it's Ohio, so I select again. In your case you might need to select different. So I select this, create record. It create records, and beautifully it is going to work just fine. So once the name servers are updated, anyone who comes to the inksouth.com will be redirected to this value. Alright, so let's see that, because we updated the name servers, and let's see if our site is working now or not. So I go here and simply say inksouth.com, hit there, and you can see our app is up. So here we logged into the test user, so I'm just gonna log in, and I'm gonna use the test user, test at, I'm just gonna log in here. What I do, I'm gonna register a new user here, so I'm gonna say here, let's say Roger, and Roger at gmail.com, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and register. Alright, we have Roger registered. Now here I'm gonna go to our app, and I'm gonna close these from here, and if I go here it opens. I go to home, I log out, log in again, and I'm gonna Roger at gmail.com, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, log in. So you can see that I created that account on the inksouth.com, and here logged in our app URL. So it's the same thing. So we successfully redirected the user. So anyone who comes to inksouth.com goes to our AWS stored instance. So that's working. Alright, so our app is up. So we had a localhost app in our system, and that app is now connected into the domain inksouth, and also it is on the AWS server. So now let's work on the installing SSL, how you can install SSL on this so that we have HTTPS secure route instead of this unsecure. So for doing this, what we need to do, again, we will go to the AWS. Here you can search simply SSL, and what you're gonna get here is you're gonna get the certificate manager. Just click there. So you should have your SSL certificates with you, and that's the way I'm going to show you here. So I have the I used the paid certificate. You can see I have a certificate here, and it is issued by some third party, not by AWS. So what I did, I simply click here import, and what we did then, certificate generally provides you 3 files. You have those files, so the main certificate body goes here, and also so you need to try. So for example, you get the certificate from inksound.com, so the main inksound.com.pem file, you're just going to open it with text editor, and you're just going to paste here. So let me give you an example here. Alright guys, so working with the SSL is going to be in a few steps. So let me explain you how it goes. First of all, you need to go into your EC2 instance. So here, if I am in terminal, you can see currently we are here. So what we need to do, we need to generate a CSR file, and that CSR.pem file we need to provide to the domain or hosting providers from where you want to get your SSL certificate for your domain. Because when you call them and you are gonna tell them that you need the SSL certificate, they're gonna ask you the CSR file. So I'm gonna show you first how we can generate. This is the link that you can follow, and basically that's what we are going to do here. So basically here, if I said a cd, we are in root, then we say cd/etc/pki and hit there, and ls there too. Then we have cd tls and private. Alright, so we have this directory already there. So BEANSTOCK already placed a file there called localhost.key, and this is the file we need. So now you know that this file is placed inside this directory. So what we can do, we can use this file to generate as CSR. So for that, what we need to do, we need to run this command here. So let's do that. So what I do, I simply go and hit cd. I go to the project folder of ours. So I say cd, then var, then www, and then HTML. So here I have my Laravel application. So I want to generate the CSR into this directory. So I say sudo, and then open SSL, and request new -key. Now it says custom key. We need to provide the full path to our key, which was localhost key. So the path is given here. We're just going to copy this path, and I'm going to paste here, and then I'm going to say localhost.key. all right, and once we have, we put space, and then we say output for -out, and then we say csr.pem. Data the localhost key here, and the output going to be CSR, and we are doing it inside our HTML folder, so it's going to generate there. So here we note that we are using sudo in front of it, so we have the root access, so we won't face any permission issues. So if I hit return, it asks for country. We need to pass a country. I say AU for Australia, state Victoria, then we have the city Melbourne. Now you can put your information here, where you are from and your country and from your website and business. So all the detail for that is what is required here. Organization, I'm going to pass test. Organization name test, or test, whatever. So the site that we have, the inksound.com. Okay, and then it says email. You can provide the email where you want to be contacted. So here I post test@gmail.com, and here a password. So I just put 1 2 3 4 5. Option company name. Accept. All right. So if I ls now, you will, you can see here csr.pem. Now this is the file that we need to provide to the hosting provider. So once they have this file, And now what we can do, basically they need the content of this file. So what you can do, you open any text editor. So I'm going to open Sublime here. I'm going to say CSR dot text. I'm going to save it to desktop. So here's the file. Now I need the content of this file. So what I do, I simply say sudo nano, and I say csr.pen. And I can see that content is here. So we just copy this content, and we open this text editor, and here I replace the content. Okay, so you can see that. Now if you just pause this, and you just pass this file to your hosting provider where you're getting the SSL from, paid SSL. So they will see this file and they will give you the SSL for your website. Now remember that to generate this, we use two files, one file. So here we have this localhost key. So we have to have this key with us because when you pause, so for example, let's say you gave the CSR file to the hosting provider, they provided you the SSL file. You come back to this page. Here it says certificate private key. So the private key is the one we use here, this localhost key. So the content of this, we can get the content using nano. So let me show you that too. So simply gonna copy this, and here I'm gonna say sudo nano and pause this path. You can see that we have a content here. So this is the content we need to copy. So we simply copy this content and we pass it in the private key. Now the same way you're going to get the certificate, you put the certificate body here, and for example what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this and paste here. However, I'm going to get error, but just to show you, it's going to be quite similar, but content will be a bit different. You hit next, it says it's not a valid format because it's not the SSL. So you will put here and here the files you get from the SSL, the paid SSL. Private key you add here, then you put next, and then you add the certificate. So in our case, I already did it. I already have a certificate installed here. So the same way you need to do it. So once you have here, then you can use that certificate in, so for example, in your load balancer, you can select that certificate, whatever certificate you have here. Hope this helped. Here I have another application. So if I go to here in the configuration, and here if I scroll down, we have load balancer here, and if I add it here, I scroll down here on top, you can see here that there is an event listener added. So here you're going to add an event listener. You click here and you're going to provide the port 443. You're going to select HTTPS here. I have the already port selected, so it's giving the error. Then you put 80 here, and then you select HTTP in here. Okay, this is going to be the exact setting. For SSL, you will select your SSL here. It will appear here. So choose. So once you have the SSL saved in the manager, SSL manager, I showed you before. So that's going to show you here. So you can select here, and once you select the certificate, simply add, and it is going to automatically install the certificate for you. Alright guys, so here is the instance, and here if I click on connect, I have the SSH client, and to connect we have the key pair file here. So the steps are here. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to connect using terminal and then using FileZilla. So here in terminal, I'm simply going to go and say cd desktop because I have this file on desktop. So here the steps are simple. It says run this command. So I go to terminal, paste the command, and I'm going to change the PAM to CER as our file is CER there. Now after that, we're gonna copy this command and I'm gonna paste here. In the same way, we need to change PEM to CER. So I'm gonna do that. 1, 2, 3. Insert. All right. Now I'm just gonna connect. Okay, it is advising us to change the username to EC2 user. Now in command, it gave the root. If you see here, root at. So we need to change it there. So if I go back here, in place of root, we're gonna put this username. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's this and hit return. And this time it should connect. All right, we are in the app. Now if I say here cd/var/www/html. Now here I have my Laravel application. So if I ls here, you can see the application, Laravel application files are here. Now we need to connect to this using FileZilla. So let's open the FileZilla. Now the FileZilla is up. So the first thing we need to do is we need to put this file in our settings. So simply go into FileZilla preferences or settings. You will come here, and here you go SFTP. Now here it is I'm gonna remove the previously. So add key here. We need to select key. I go to the desktop and we look for test app and this file, and we're gonna open it. Now once this file is here, hit OK. Now once that is OK, we're gonna create here a new app. So yes, I'm gonna say new site, and I'm gonna call it test app. Now we need to connect it. So I go back to the instance, and here in instance you will see the public IP. So we need to copy this and go back to FileZilla and put this public IP in host. Now in FTP here we use SFTP, and in here we're going to post normal. Now if you remember, in the terminal we added the username as EC2 user base. So the same we're going to pass here as user. We're not going to pass any password now. We're just going to hit connect and OK. OK again. And here it is checking the key, so we say OK. All right, we are in business. You can see we connected. So if I go here, and now we can see the var folder, and inside var we can go to www and then HTML, and you can see that I have the Laravel project there and the same files that we have the in terminal, and are given there. You can see even the CSR file that is I generated separately, that is also showing up there. So yeah, this is how you connect with the FileZilla. So all you need is the key pair as well as the instance public IP address to connect with it. Guys, if you like the content of this channel, you can donate a small amount. You can go to talks.biz and click on the donate button up there. Also, you can subscribe to the channel, share the content with others, like and give your feedback so that we can improve our videos and the website content. Hope you like it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. And